Hello, everybody, and welcome to 10-Minute Fringe with me, Laser from A Shark Ate My Penis. Today, I am talking to Joyful Raven of Breeder Bust. Hi, Joyful. How you doing?
Hi, Laser. Thank you so much for doing this. You are amazing. You are
Uh,
working your arse off.
I'm happy to do it, and I absolutely love that you look like you're kind of at like Sturbridge Village or something. You're like, I'm here. I'm
Yes,
reenacting the past. I'm doing it.
I am. I'm reenacting the past. I'm actually in my past currently because I thought it was an incredible idea to come stay with my family. I grew up in the middle of nowhere. Like
Oh,
there's like
wow.
without electricity, all like and I decided it was a really good idea to come prepare for Fringe with my
Yeah,
family.
with
You know?
re-traumatizing yourself with inherited.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I love that for
totally. It
you.
was a great idea.
Hey, Joyful, what is the pitch for Breeder Bust? Tell us all about it.
Okay. Breed or Bust is an autobiographical tragio-comedy that blends stand-up and storytelling and some dark humor and little splashes of clown and physical comedy to take you through the journey of my treacherous breeding decisions, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I've been saying it blazes a fire through the taboo of abortion and our primal baby-making instincts.
Wow, amazing.
So that's the tightest I can do it, but it's a confessional, very honest. I teach storytelling. I've been really like steeped in this um the storytelling genre for the last few years. So it's very heart to heart. You feel like you're, my best friend and I'm telling you way more than maybe you want to hear. Um and I always like to say I'm not it is a political statement because in a world where our bodies are trying to be controlled, like just speaking the truth about our nuanced, complicated experiences, you know, it's a political, but I'm not like telling you how to think. I'm not grandstanding. I'm not like, it's like just, I'm using my story to show you what one person with a uterus and ovaries has gone through
Sure.
when dealing with these choices.
It is interesting how things become political just because of, I mean, like at this point, like a woman talking could be political. So
Exactly.
it's really hard to avoid. So what do you want folks to get out of this show when they see it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I really want them to to understand and think about the nuances of these decisions we make. Like I'm neither saying like, "Yay, having an abortion was like such a great experience." I don't.
Yeah.
I want them to be like, "Yeah, having whether or not um, I feel good about my decision or not, it was my decision."
Right.
Right. So I want them to feel. I want this conversation gets so polarized that we forget what's actually happening underneath the
Mhm.
layers. So I want them to walk away thinking about the nuance of choice. Like, is choice really like who really does have choice? Like, and how complicated choices are. I want them to
Mhm.
walk away realizing that as much as we like to think like birth control and is like this no brainer, like we're dealing with our ancient biological forces to
Yeah.
procreate. And they're like weighing down upon our everyday pedestrian life. And so it's that there's this other realm, like, and I also there's this other realm weighing down upon our pedestrian sort of everyday life.
Yeah.
And I want them to laugh. I want them to like my intention was to make this show funny. And so you might be like, tearing up one moment and then all of a sudden I make you laugh at an abortion joke and you might be mad at me for that. But I want you to, I grew up with political theater makers and was always about like using humor to get
Mhm.
under the hood and look at things. So it's funny, maybe funnier than it should be, but it's funny.
So I know you've done this show a lot, and is this the premiere of doing it overseas?
It
And
sure is.
tell me
Yeah.
about that show's journey and why you wanted to bring it to Edinburgh.
Yeah, great question. Okay, so I've been sitting on this show for like 3 or 4 years after I wrote my last solo show, which was called Sexual Tomboy, and it was all about consent and anyways, I won't go into that. And then I've been sitting on this show And I was like noticing that I was in my early 30s and I was hanging out with a lot of women and everybody was talking about their breeding and their babies and and I would just be like kind of silent during these conversations and like,
Mhm.
but I had abortion, like I had something to say about the situation, but I found myself quiet and I was like, God damn, like I don't get to talk about my experience just because it's something we're not supposed to talk about. So I've been sort of
Yeah.
percolating the show. And then it was the weirdest thing. It was like spooky. I was like, okay, I gotta just write this show. I just gotta do it. I woke up like a couple, like 8 months before the whole Roe versus Wade got revoked in the States. And I was like, I got to get the show out this year. I don't know why, but I just applied to a festival and I got in and I like did it in San Francisco at a solo festival. And then went to the Hollywood Fringe. And during the Hollywood Fringe was when all the Roe versus Wade stuff went down. So it was really weird and spooky and almost too timely. Like I was like, actually wish I'd had the show out a year before all of that happened, you know? And then I went on to did the Hollywood Fringe in 2022, and then I sort of toured little bits here and there around Northern California where I'm from, and then I'm forgetting now. I did a women's festival up in Humboldt where I am now. Something else big happened, I forget. Oh yeah, I did a run in San Francisco. I was co-produced with the theater, which was fabulous, and I did another couple shows in LA. So yeah, it's been evolved.
Amazing.
It's been evolving and, I'm a perfectionist. And so I'm still trying to get closer into the heart of what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. And what are you looking forward to about Edinburgh?
I don't even know anymore. I'm like, what are we doing? Are we totally insane? Why are we doing this
Yeah,
to ourselves? I think we're
absolutely.
definitely insane. I am okay. So I am looking forward to actually having it be the time to be in Edinburgh because the buildup has been so intense and
Yeah,
exhausting. I'm like, I keep forgetting I'm actually doing this thing. So what
yeah.
I'm excited about is just seeing a ton. Hi, Kitty. We have a kitty guest, my friends. Oh, hello, Kitty. You're on 10-minute fringe.
Oh my
Um,
god.
yes, you're very, very nice. So I'm excited to see a shit. Can I cuss? I can cuss. Why do
Yeah,
I even
please.
ask? I'm excited to see a shit ton of theater and like just see what everybody's doing with the form and to
Yeah,
be in the UK and I'm already learning just like people in the UK are calling it a solo play and we call it
yeah,
solo theater and I freaking love the term solo play.
yeah.
So there's just I know it's going to expand me and grow me as an artist and
Mhm.
like already I've seen other plays who are dealing with my same themes and I've been connecting with them and it's just going to be fascinating to see how somebody else approaches it. Um, I'm excited. This is actually what I'm most excited about. All right, Kitty, come on.
Amazing.
What I'm most excited about is performing every day for
Yeah,
26 days because I think that's going to stretch me as a performer more than anything else in my life has.
absolutely. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I have a question for my previous guest. My previous guest is Isabel Klein, who has a show called Showstopper, a solo play. And she's doing a series of little videos about doing absolutely kind of crazy things to get people to her show. And she wanted to know, what is the wildest thing you would do to make somebody buy a ticket to your show?
It's a very good question.
Mhm.
What is the wildest thing I would do, or what is the wildest thing I have done?
Ooh, I mean, either one.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I weirdly am a little bit of an introvert in my own bizarre way that I'm just learning. But
Mhm.
I also have a whole lot of cojones and I will go up to just about anybody like and say, "Hey, do you want to see a show about abortion?"
Yeah.
Like so I don't have a lot of shame. Well, I do afterwards, but I don't have a lot of shame just talking to people and being like, throwing it against the wall and see if it sticks.
Mhm.
But let's see. So I do have a little like female pleasure part of my show and like
Oh,
why
nice.
female pleasure is why it's important in this debate around female choices and why it's
Yeah,
often left out of the discussion. So not to give it away, but I do have a little clitoris puppet.
you do. And I've seen somebody call it a uterus, and it was very distressing to me that they didn't
Oh
know
my
what a
god.
uterus was.
So I think the craziest thing I'm going to do, even though it's going to give away this moment in my show, I think I'm going to walk around with my clitoris puppet and sort of ask people if they know what it is, and
Sure.
ask them to identify it, and maybe even ask them to touch it.
Yeah. You got it.
So, you know, I
We all got
mean,
to
and
get used to touching clitorises.
I mean, come on, right? Sometimes we did, and we didn't even know we were doing it, but you know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I don't know
Joyful.
if it's
Yeah.
the craziest, but that's where I'll leave it.
I mean, it's a good idea. What do you have a question for my next guest, Joyful?
Okay, my question isn't as great as what was her name that asked me the question?
Isabel Klein. It's okay.
Isabel Klein. Thank you for
It's
that
not a
wonderful.
competition.
Oh, God damn it.
Mm.
The question that I have for the next guest is I help coach storytellers and artists. So I think my coach rose up in that question. So I want to know what you're going to do to take care of yourself while you're in this theater storm. Like, what are the practices you're going to do to stay grounded and do self-care? That's what I want to know.
That's a good question. It's a good question to remind us that you need to do that. And you're directing a show that's over there. I talked to somebody who,
yes, Doug. Jesus, Lord, God, I'm cursing a lot too. Yes, I am, and I'm so excited about it. You spoke with Abby of Abby's Box. I had the pleasure of story midwifing, which is what I call the work I do, helping sort of people birth their creative projects, of story midwife and directing Abby Glover in Abby's Box, which is, she is so freaking funny, and the show is deep and wild and playful and joyous, and she's going to be at Greenside, and I'm so excited. We're going to be staying together in a house, so I'm going to have directed her and be doing my show simultaneously. Nice. Which feels really rich and exciting, and I'm going to try to see her show multiple times. So yeah, go see Abby's Box too. I'm super excited. It's so funny
and Joyful. How do we go see Breeder Bust? When and where is it?
Will Breeder Bust is at the Gilded Balloon, Patterhouse, Corey, and it is every day, the 2nd through the 28th at 2:20 p.m., which for this night owl is going to be an early freaking show. Nice. And I think I'm not the 14th, and I forget the other day I'm not. So I should have looked that up, but
that's okay.
Yeah, 2 days off, but essentially most days 2:20, Gilded Balloon, Patterhouse, Corey.
Amazing. Well, Joyful, thank you so much for joining me on 10-Minute French today. I really appreciate you joining me from this woodshed and bringing a cat. I mean, that's all we ever want. And thank you so much, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next time.
Hi, everybody. See you out there on the street.